day of the week. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Chasing That Paper, baby. Coming off of a great show yesterday. 4-1 for yours truly across the NBA and Major League Baseball. Bringing Ian's picks, we went 7-2. Overall, so a rock-solid program. We're going to try to bring that winning energy right back into today. 6 total picks across the NBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball. Something fun planned for the second half of the show. My top 5 fictional athletes, the most heart. See who makes my list. So a lot to get into today. Before we get into it, guys, do me a favor. If you like the show, it's easy to let me know. All you got to do is hit that like button right down there while you were at it. Hit that subscribe button. A lot of great content here at Vegas Insider. All right, that does it. That's enough small talk. Let's get right into the action. We're going to start things off in the NBA. In Boston, the Philadelphia 76ers. In town, of course they are. Let's go with the player prop. Going to go with Jaylen Brown to go over his point total here of 24.5 points. Let's get right into it. Game 4 was a wake-up call for Jaylen Brown. He specifically said that he needs to demand the ball more in the post-game press conference. He's averaging just 15.3 shot attempts per game in this series. That's 5 less than his regular season average. For most superstar players, shot attempts go up in the playoffs. He's leaving minutes and as a result, shots on the table in this series. Foul trouble limited his minutes in Game 3, and a blowout kept back on his minutes in Game 2. A bump in minutes tonight should lead to a bump in shot attempts. He's been Boston's most efficient scorer here in this series. He's shooting it at 57.4%. That's 10% better than Jason Tatum's number. Give me Jaylen Brown over 24.5 points. Next up, we go to Denver. What a series. We got Suns, Nuggets, another player, Prop City. Today's program, Devin Booker. We're going to target this guy. 35 or more points going off at plus 145. What a beautiful bet. Let's get right into it. What a historic stretch for Devin Booker, averaging 38.1 points per game over his last 8 games, having reached the 35-point mark in 6 of these 8 games, including 3 of 4 in this series. His shooting has been wildly efficient, connecting on 63.7% of shot attempts. This is legendary stuff. And even if that number dips, his free throw attempts could be on the rise. He's averaging just 4.8 free throw attempts in this series, including games of just 2 and 3 attempts. Don't be surprised to see him get a couple more calls tonight and a few more trips to the freebie line. Devin Booker, 35 or more, plus 145. All right, next up, we go to the icy Dallas Stars looking to bounce back versus the Crackheads at the Crack House. I do like the Stars to bounce back. Going to take them on the money line, minus 140. Dig into the analytics for the series. It has not even been close. First versus last in this round so far in terms of expected goals for percentage and high danger chances for percentage, both obviously in favor of the Dallas Stars. Look at the Crackheads here. They're getting lucky. 14 goals for them in the series so far, but an expected goals number, just 7.52. Now, small sample size, but the Stars have played some of their best hockey after a loss here in these playoffs. They are 3-0 after a loss with 14 goals for, 7 goals allowed. And Jake Ottinger, the pride of Lakeville, Minnesota, in between the pipes here for the Stars. And he's better than this. A couple rough games in the series. This is a guy who had a .216 goals against average on the road this season. Expect Ottinger to bounce back. Expect Dallas to bounce back. Stars, minus 140. Off to the diamond we go. And we'll start things off in Baltimore. Going to take the Rays' first 5 run line coming in at even money, so they need to be leading at the end of 5 innings to win this bet. Zach Eflin on the mound here for Tampa Bay, and he is reborn. Some beautiful numbers for the former Philly, the pride of Orlando, Florida. Woo! Zach Eflin. Look at his numbers here. A .225 ERA, a whip under 1, and a .295 FIP. Just 3 walks and 5 starts for Eflin. Grayson Rodriguez on the mound here. Some bad numbers for the youngster. Bad numbers versus bad competition. A 5.46 ERA. And look at the teams he's faced this season. Kansas City, Detroit twice, the Chicago Shit Sox, and the Oakland A's. Not good. And the Rays continue to absolutely rake versus righties. 4th in WRC plus versus righties over the last 2 weeks. Orioles down there at 17th. Give me Tampa Bay, first 5, run line, even money. Next up, we're off to Cincinnati, where the New York Mets are in town. Max Scherzer on the bump here, and we will be fading this guy today. Going to take the under on his strikeout total of 6.5. So rough start here to 2023 for Scherzer. Some serious signs of slowing down. In 2023 here so far, the 38-year-old has a 5.56 ERA along with a cheating suspension. That's not good. His strikeout percentage is also down 10% compared to last season. He has not hit the 7 strikeout mark yet this year. He has 3 or fewer strikeouts on 3 different occasions already this season. And the Reds are impressing versus right-handed pitching. Maybe surprising, but they are 8th in OPS versus righties over the last 2 weeks. More importantly, they have the 5th lowest strikeout percentage versus righties in this span. Scherzer getting smacked around on the road here a little bit. Maybe he does get chased early. Scherzer under 6.5 strikeouts. Let's wrap things up here. Kansas City Royals playing host to the Chicago Shit Sox. Going to take over 4.5 in the first 5 innings. So both of these offenses are coming around here lately. We touched on this yesterday on a bet that we hit on the Royals. They have the hottest offense in baseball over the past week, coming in at first in OPS and WRC+. Chicago, not great, but top 12 in each of those categories. They should be able to improve their numbers versus Jordan Lyles, who starts for the Royals. This guy is getting absolutely shit-canned this season. A 6.69 ERA. 4 or more earned runs on 5 occasions already. Lucas Giolito gets the ball here for the Chicago Shit Sox. He has a 5.73 ERA on the road. That's across 4 starts, where he also has a FIP in the high 4s. He had a 5.28 ERA in 3 starts versus the Royals last season, and they've hit him pretty good. In 98 combined at-bats, Royals hitters have an impressive 9.67 OPS against him. Give me over 4.5 F5 White Sox Royals. Yeah! Look at that. In and out. In and out. Just like that. 6 total picks. If you're looking to get some action in here tonight, maybe tail some of my picks. Maybe fade them. If you want, the choice quite simply is yours. I recommend placing that action over at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Let me tell you a little bit about them. We have an exclusive offer just for Vegas Insider users. Sign up with BetMGM. Use the promo code VI bonus match. You will get up to $1,100 of your deposit matched by BetMGM. That's code VI bonus match, all one word, no spaces. For a first bet deposit offer of up to $1,100, visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years or older to wager. Offers for new customers only. BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's have a little fun here, guys. So it's often said that heart cannot be measured, but I disagree. And I have put together my list of the top 5 fictional athletes with the most heart. So let's get into my list. The top 5 fictional athletes with the most heart. We're going to go 5 down to 1. Let's start at number 5. And we're going to start with none other than Happy Gilmore. What a character this guy was, and it was blue-collar golf at its best when he stepped onto the course. Happy made golf cool before Tiger Woods made it cool, and as an outsider in the blue-blooded world of golf, Happy had a lot to overcome. He plays for not only for himself, but he plays to pay off his grandmother's debt to the IRS and for the memory of his beloved mentor Chubbs, who tragically fell out of a window and died. Despite insurmountable odds, Happy overcomes it all and captures a tour championship. Happy Gilmore, number 5. Number 4 on my list of fictional athletes with the most heart, We go to the world of television. Matt Saracen, the lone television entry on my list. Saracen was an underdog on and off the field. The one-time backup was suddenly thrust into the starting role for the Dillon Panthers after highly regarded starter Jason Street becomes paralyzed. After a shaky start, Saracen overcomes his physical limitations and his annoying grandmother to finish his sophomore season with 19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and a 121.3 quarterback rating. Are you kidding me? And Tom Brady level stuff here in the state championship game. He passed for 283 and 2 touchdowns, leading the Panthers to a 27-26 epic comeback victory. Saracen also shows major versatility as a dual threat player when he transitions to a wide receiver in season 3 of Friday Night Lights. He also balls out enough off the field to form a romantic relationship with the coach's daughter, who he later goes on to marry. Matt Saracen, number 4 on my list of fictional athletes with the most heart. Number 3 on my list, Forrest Gump, another football player. This man excelled at 2 very specific forms of running: extreme long distance cross country and returning kickoffs for touchdowns. Despite his mental limitations and being ostracized by many in his community, he receives a football scholarship to the University of Alabama, where he becomes a top kick returner and is named to the All-American team, which earns him a visit to the White House to meet JFK. After honorably representing his country in Vietnam as a member of the U.S. Army, he begins a relentless pursuit of excellence in cross-country running, which makes him an inspiration to many Americans. Forrest Gump, number 3 on my list. Number 2 on my list, we stay in the world of football, and it is, of course, Rudy. A lot of people don't like this guy, but this runt of a young man belonged nowhere near a Division I college football field due to many significant obstacles, most notably his inferior size and lack of natural athletic ability, along with poor grades and improper funding to attend Notre Dame University. Unlike Forrest Gump, he didn't receive a scholarship. After working his ass off at Holy Cross for 2 years, Rudy is finally admitted to Notre Dame and attends football tryouts in hopes of making the team as a walk-on. After routinely getting his ass kicked in practice day after day after day and earning the respect of his teammates, he finds himself dressing for the final game of his senior year versus Georgia Tech. Late in the game, it's clear that the head coach doesn't want to put him in, but he has no choice and succumbs to the pressure of players and fans. Rudy plays on the Notre Dame kickoff to Georgia Tech. He then stays on for the final play and sacks the Georgia Tech quarterback and is carried off the field on the shoulders of his teammates. What a hero Rudy was. Notre Dame excellence. And number 1 on my list of fictional athletes with the most heart. Who else? You can't have anyone else. It is Rocky. The ultimate underdog, the Italian stallion, fights for honor, respect, the love of his sport, his country, and to honor the memory of his one-time rival, Apollo Creed, who was murdered by Ivan Drago in the ring. This man belonged nowhere near the heavyweight division and was constantly at a major significant size disadvantage. Despite this, he made the most out of every opportunity that was presented to him, most notably humiliating Apollo Creed, who was the undisputed heavyweight champion, by going all 15 rounds against him in what was supposed to be one of the easiest fights of Apollo Creed's career. He uses that experience to propel his career and finishes the job versus the arrogant Creed in the rematch. The competition only grows more fierce versus Mr. T, who not only beats Rocky, but is disrespectful to his lovely wife, Adrian. He avenges the loss to T and later beats Ivan Drago, who is jacked up on enough rocket fuel to spend a spaceship to Uranus. Rocky was a fighter in the ring, but a lover outside of it, and goes on to mentor Adonis Creed, the bastard child of Apollo. Creed goes on to follow in the footsteps of both his father and Rocky by becoming the heavyweight champion of the world, preserving Rocky's place in sports history forever. There you have it. My list of the fictional athletes. Pretty easy list to come up with. That's Saracen. Remember him? Great underdog story that was. Shitty parents. His grandmother cared, but she was annoying. All right, on to some real sports here. We put up a poll on the Vegas Insider Twitter feed this morning asking you guys what is the best bet in the NBA here tonight. Sixers up to 7.5 here versus the Celtics plus 7.5. People like the Nuggets. And those are the two sides that I kind of lean to. It's tough though. I got no clue. That's why I went with player props. I had a pretty good feel for the spreads yesterday. I went 2-0, very close one with the Lakers. But yeah, maybe too many points here for the Sixers. Who knows? They fell off a pretty big cliff from game 1-2 in that series in Boston. Meanwhile, though, the Nuggets much better at home. So we shall see. You got to wonder, you look at the box scores for the Phoenix Suns in this series. They need Devin Booker and Kevin Durant to go off in every game. If they don't get that, they're probably not going to win. Not a whole lot else on those teams, especially with Chris Paul. Some people think that they are better without Chris Paul. I don't know about that. I think the longer they go without Paul in the lineup, it will probably end up hurting them. Yeah, so that's that. Now it is time for today's Handicapper Heat Check, proudly presented by VegasInsider.com. Your home for the best expert picks in the business since 1997. NHL profits leader Steven Nover has hit 6 straight NHL winners and is on a 5-0 playoff run. Will Rogers had a perfect 5-0 all sports record yesterday. Ray Monahan won 3 straight MLB picks and is on an 8-1 NBA win streak. Visit VegasInsider.com/picks for tonight's top plays. All right. That's your Handicapper Heat Check. All right, that does it for today, guys. In and out fairly quickly. That is the way she goes when I'm flying solo here. 14-minute program. You got to love that. Going to be right back with you tomorrow, though. Kevin Rogers will be joining me, and we're going to do what we do. We're going to be covering it all. NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball. So that does it for today. We thank producer Tito for producing. We thank you, dear viewer, for checking us out. Once again, best of luck with your bets tonight, unless, of course, you are fading me. And as always, keep chasing that paper. Yeah!